For a while, single-player Star Wars seemed like a non-starter. 1313 was heavily hyped until Walt Disney dissolved LucasArts, canceling the game in the process. EA took over as Star Wars publisher and had Dead Space's Visceral Games working on Project Ragtag, which was also unceremoniously cancelled in 2017 when EA dissolved Visceral, cause getting rid of studios working on highly anticipated games that would have probably sold like hotcakes is just smart business. Meanwhile, EA rebooted the Battlefront series in 2015, which never had much single player to begin with and definitely wasn't going to now. So it seemed likely that a new Star Wars game revealed in 2016 probably wasn't going to make it to market. And yet, it managed to make it past EA execs and into our hands. Welcome to the licensed game hole. Today in the hole, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game came out in 2019 and is developed by Respawn Entertainment, who also developed Titanfall 2, which is one of our favorite modern FPS campaigns. Might need to do a replay of that someday. It's really good. So, really high hopes going into this. All we really know about this game going in is that it's a Souls-like, and honestly, we almost missed learning that. We thought it sounded more like an Uncharted game, and it is that too, but we only found out when we glanced at the Steam tag for Jedi Survivor that it's also a Souls-like. We haven't really played many Souls-likes. We played Death's Door? Pretty sure that's a Souls-like. We tried Dark Souls 1 at some point, and it wasn't really our thing, but since then we've been playing Sekiro and enjoying that, but we are playing that with a walkthrough. Not sure yet if we'll need to break out a guide for this, but we'll start by going in without one. Difficulty modes for this game are Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, Jedi Grandmaster, and Story. Story is for people who just want to experience the game. Always a welcome sight. Wish they had at least called it Padawan to keep with the theme naming. We go with Jedi Knight. We like our easy modes. Souls-likes are known for their difficulty, so we're ready to bump it down to Story if we hit a wall, but we're gonna start here. We start the game on Bracca as we sweep over a scrapyard of Republic ships and follow a probe droid to Cal Kestis, our protagonist, played by Cameron Monaghan. His buddy Prof, and Abednego, played by J.B. Blanc, gets him to take off his interstellar headphones. Our boss, a 4-man droid, needs us to unclamp some broken clamps. Hold on. A cool planet, an alien, and a droid in the opening cutscene? This is Star Wars. We keep a layer of cynicism from the Star Wars fandom, but an opening like this gets us really excited. So we follow Prof doing some light platforming. We make sure to listen in on our fellow scrappers for some info.
Them Clone Wars were fierce. Can't be more than a few years old. Yeah, aged worse than you did, though. Guess you can't stop progress.
Riveting stuff. After a bit, we make our way to a vista of the shipbreaking yard, and wow! Wowie, wowie, wow! What an environment for an original planet. But also, you don't need the info blurb to tell you this is an Empire planet. A dangerous environment where endless fields of scrap ships are getting taken apart? Yeah, this ain't a good place to live. You can also see a separatist droid control ship being dropped down. They're still picking up those scraps, and can't be too long since the events of Episode 3. Prof's way collapses, so we take an alternate way down a slide and get this choice line from Cal.
You are not approved trash.
Well, trash is not approved trash.
What a mood. We continue to go through the labyrinthine catacombs of Bracca. This feels a lot like Uncharted so far. This is the clamber as we climb graded walls, walk over precarious ravines, and squeeze through corridors right next to scrap rats. We love the clamber. This has come up while we've been playing Doom Eternal, but we love 3D platformers. Combat's fine, but jumping around, doing a little parkour, that's the stuff. Hey, check out this Imperial warning sign. Wonder what it says. We finish our clamber by taking care of those clamps and then climb up on top of the starship to find a Jedi fighter.
What a score! It's a real scrapper's payday. I mean, this he's been here, what, 4 years?
5.
Very good exposition here. Start the game already wondering which Jedi story this is. Are you already a Jedi, or is Cal going to become one? This scene, Cal's backstory immediately becomes apparent. There's no need to sit down and exposit how he got here. You just understand that he crashed and he decided to fade into the background so he'd be safe. Cutscenes in this game so far are really good. Part of what we liked about Titanfall 2 was the story, and it definitely feels like the writers know how to make an engaging story that instantly grabs you.
Eventually, you gotta move on and live your life. Find your destiny.
During their talk, a cable snaps and we're into one of what we're going to call an Uncharted sequence. Every game that wants to feel like Uncharted has gotta have a couple of these, and damn it, we're a sucker for them. In this one, we slide down the ramp, dodging debris until we fall off and get caught by a cable. Classic Uncharted style near miss. Unfortunately, Prof is just barely hanging on, and when he slips, Cal uses Force Slow to save him from the Ignis Maw. Hidden fighter who's forced to show his fighting abilities by accident always ends well. Also, hey, the Maw's just like the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi. Love that thing. Damn shame it wasn't good at killing Boba Fett. Prof appreciates the help and lets Cal know that he's gonna pay him back somehow. So many characters would have done the get away from me bit, but Prof is ride or die. Cal makes plans to disappear before he falls asleep on the train. When he wakes up, Prof keeps leading Cal further and further into the train. Things start getting weird until one of the train doors refuses to open. Oh. We go through the corridors of this Imperial starship until we reach a door that opens to Jaro Tapal, Cal's master, a Lasat played by Travis Willingham. The Lasats first appeared on screen in Star Wars Rebels, and apparently their design is based on early Chewbacca design. Neat. Cal wakes up to the train stopping. The passengers are forced out by stormtroopers as we see the ship of Second Sister, played by Elizabeth Grulon, land. She's one of the Inquisitorius, first introduced on screen in Star Wars Rebels.
She's a Force user hunting Jedi survivors.
Various sisters and brothers have shown up throughout the franchise since, although mostly we just think of them as instant waifu material. She shows up along with Ninth Sister, a Dowut played by Misty Lee. You might think she doesn't look like waifu material, and you would be extremely, extremely wrong. Naturally, the two are here looking for a Jedi. Cal gets ready to fight, but Prof steps in as a distraction, and takes Second Sister's lightsaber through his chest for his trouble. Damn, game makes you love a character and then instantly kills him. Cal gets his lightsaber out, but he's outmatched and ends up falling to a cargo train and back into gameplay. A bit of a story break there, but again, it's good stuff. You really feel bad for Prof, and you have a damn good reason to hate Second Sister now. Most importantly, now Cal's out of hiding, and it's time to actually fight like a Jedi. Here we get tutorialized on the combat in the game. Yeah, this is a lot like Sekiro. Blocking is good, but if you time your block right, you can deflect blaster shots or attacks and get a really good attack in. In fact, it's so much like Sekiro that while the default mapping is attack on X, we keep trying to hit RB and accidentally using our force powers. We went ahead and remapped that. Much better. Unlike Sekiro though, Cal doesn't know the value of stealth. You'd think Jedi would learn to be a little sneakier. One thing we are curious about during this segment is what happens if you die. We fortunately don't, but we have no idea where it checkpoints you to. During this sequence, we also start noticing Cal's incidental dialogue. So far, Monaghan is fine during cutscenes, but his incidental dialogue is a little worse.
One way out. Gotta keep moving.
It's no Nolan North as Nathan Drake. We estimate that part of it is that Drake is a bit of a snarker, while Cal is more of a quiet loner. His lines here are almost inappropriate because of that. We'll see how it develops. While Cal's incidentals aren't great, the stormtroopers are much better. They have a lot of things to say, often reacting to the situation.
This one's fast. We'll win easy. Almost got him. Reinforcements are on the way.
It's a nice way to let the player know how things are going. We mark down when your health is low, or when you've almost got them all. As we move on, Second Sister's ship appears and starts firing on us.
Here! I'm ready for your trick!
Nice Star Wars humor moment, but also nice to show how ruthless Second Sister is going to be against us. She's willing to cut down her own troops if it'll mean getting us. Along the way, we run into Cere, played by Deborah Wilson. At least we have someone here looking to help us out. An Uncharted sequence gets us onto Cere's ship. Well, almost. We fall into a boss battle with Second Sister. This is another thing we know about Souls-likes. The tutorial boss you can't possibly beat. But the game does teach us here about unavoidable attacks when the enemy glows red, and the enemy block bar, which we get down and do a little damage to the Second Sister. Block bar seems to be the compromise on stamina where it only counts for blocking. We see it called stamina elsewhere in the game, but it's just for blocking, it looks like. We appreciate that. Still, it's only a matter of time until Cere shows up again and we're off. Okay, now we're off. Surprised she didn't stick her lightsaber through the windshield.
Okay, shut that thing off and grab some seat.
We get some introductions all around as Cal talks with Cere and the captain of the Mantis, Grease, a Latero played by Daniel Roebuck. Small stature, fuzzy face, bit of a snarker, flies a ship. Anybody else gain some Rocket Raccoon vibes off of him? Cere lets us know that they picked up the transmission of the Inquisitors heading to Braca, and they're looking to rebuild the Jedi Order. Cere also lets us know we're on our way to Bogano next. On the way, Cal takes a nap and has a dream where Prof echoes that Cal should find his destiny. Yeah, thanks. We got it the first time. Cal picks up a weird banjo-looking instrument and plays a song that Cere wrote. Dang, didn't know Cere was a whole celebrity. This lets us know about the Echo feature. Various collectibles we find give us echoes of the Force so Cal can get a little information on them.
Whoever lived here used this room for storage. They kept food and supplies.
We'll let you know if we find anything especially interesting, but we won't be sharing most of these. We find out that Cere used to be a Jedi and she knew Jaro. Cal, in turn, lets Cere know that something happened to him during the Purge.
I survived, but my connection to the Force is damaged. When I meditate, if I let my guard down, I lose control. And it's like I'm back in that moment when...
You survived, Cal.
Before they can talk more, we've landed on Bogano. A nice contrast from Braca as we go from a dark industrial imperial world to a green world mostly untouched by civilization. Cere tells us our objective. We need to head to the vault on this world and pass a Force trial. Of course. She also lets us know there's someone here we should meet. Seems like we're in Operation Get Cal a Friend. We run into our first meditation spot. This is the game's equivalent of the Dark Souls bonfire, or shrine in Sekiro. Not only do these act as save points, but we can also rest to restore health, while also respawning any enemies we've killed, and spend skill points. The game makes us spend our first skill point on Overhead Slash. Looks pretty cool! When we come to after meditation, there's the other part of this game we knew about. BD1! Aw, look at that little guy. Clearly someone at Disney knows how cute he is, since BD units have also shown up on Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. Cal lets BD1 know he's looking for a Jedi and we're off to the races. BD1 also unlocks a few other features. He can show us a holo map of the area that shows possible paths, and later we find out we can use him to scan enemies and objects. One of the other developer influences was Metroid Prime, and his scanning ability feels a lot like the scanning in that game, albeit a little easier since he can also scan dead enemies. There's two paths we can take here, but one of them is the one BD is going down, and the other has this big dragon thing hiding in the mist. Yeah, let's not fight that right now. Let's go with BD's path. We follow BD1 into a workshop with some bog rats, and we make a classic rookie mistake here. Seeing that animation earlier where the overhead slash easily sliced some bog rats in half, we try to get one off. And the rats just take advantage of the long wind-up time to attack us. Before long, our health is way down, and our force points, which you need for the ability, are depleted. We got so excited we almost forgot we're still playing a Souls-like. Lesson learned. It's much smarter to deflect and attack than to run in swinging. Afterwards, we repair BD1 and get our first opportunity to customize our lightsaber. Premium content? Right! This is an EA game! Of course there would be special skins you can buy. We're playing on PC Game Pass, so that version just comes with these unlocked, I guess? Still, though, we feel weird putting premium content on our lightsaber, or our ship, or our BD1, even though BD1 is really cute. We're only going to be putting on customizations we'll pick up, and we'll let you know when we change those. We head up and find some sparking wires that we try to find a way around, but naturally we have to slash our lightsaber right into them. Cal, deservedly, gets knocked on his ass, but BD1 gives us this game's health restorative, a healing stim. I'm surprised they gave it such a generic name. Remember in the Dark Forces games you could carry Bacta tanks with you to use. Bacta tank, that's Star Wars. Near Bacta, you think of Luke floating in the Bacta tank in Empire Strikes Back. Healing Stim feels like something that could be in any sci-fi game from the past couple decades. This is also where we unlock all those lore files we've been showing. But there's nothing on the Healing Stim. A little lore that's a small quantity of Bacta or something would have done a lot for it. We move on and unlock a shortcut along with a new lightsaber emitter. Let's throw that on. We fight some Splucks, which are easily dispatched, and then get to a set of walls that Cal can't get past. A new objective gets added to our holomap where we can find a way past. Again, very Metroid Prime, showing us where the next ability is and letting us wander our way there. We appreciate that feature in Metroidvanias, since open exploration isn't really our thing. We do wish they had made some indication of how this objective gets added. Well, gameplay story segregation is always okay, but maybe the excuse could be that there's a strong force reading in that area? Prime had your computer say something to give an excuse as to why you now knew where something was, so they could have done the same here. Maybe BD1 just knows more than we do. After a little exploration, we head out in the only direction we've got and find a new Bogano Dom poncho. A nice white poncho for this muddy, swampy world. Guess the Force keeps it clean. Encounter some bog rats being eaten by an Ogdo. Cal recommends we run for it, so we take him up on his advice. Foolishly, though, we think we easily lost it and decide to explore. Bad idea as we get cornered. He takes a good chunk of health off before we get away. Fortunately, there's a meditation spot right after. As expected from a Star Wars EA game, this seems a little nicer than Souls-likes are. Sekiro likes to sprinkle its checkpoints throughout so that getting to each one feels like a relief. This game is putting them around more like regular old checkpoints. We don't really feel too concerned so far about dying, as the last checkpoint tends to just be a bit back. But this is also still the tutorial zone. Maybe it's still going easy on us. We follow this cave to a dead end where Cal touches a glowing spot and connects with the weird lizards running around? It's the Force. It sounds about right. These lizards reawaken our ability to wall run, and we flash back to Jaro teaching a young Cal how to wall run. Not really sure we needed this flashback, as the cave area also lets you practice wall running, but it does let us see a little more Jaro. The initial dream sequence made him look evil, while this makes him look more like a standard Jedi Master. We don't trust him either way. On the way out, we've gained another skill point, which we spend on health. We can already tell a lot of our skill points are going to go into the survival tree. Who cares about fancy attacks and force abilities? More health and more blocking keeps us from dying. The best offense is a good defense, or something like that. With Wall Run, we can make our way to the vault where Cal challenges BD1 to a race.
Racy there? Whoa, it's on.
Hey, he's a fast little guy. Also feeling here that now that Monaghan has something to bounce off of, his comments have been a little better. Still not amazing, but he's at least not muttering to himself as much anymore. Some Luke and R2 energy. Mark Hamill's performance as Luke isn't the best, but it's better when he has a little droid buddy to talk to. Inside the vault, BD-1 shows us a hologram of his master, Eno Cordova, played by Tony Amendola. He lets us know that we've passed his trials, and the vault is actually an ancient temple built by the Zepho. No, the Zepho. Eno has hidden a Jedi holocron inside the temple.
Hold on, wait a minute. A holo what?
A holocron. It stores information, but only accessible to Jedi.
This holocron has the names and locations of young Force sensitives, but we can't access it until after we find the tombs of the three sages. He won't trust us unless we've also walked his path. He recommends we head to the Zepho homeworld to start our journey. Afterwards, Cal talks with BD-1, coming to terms with the fact that a Jedi can't just stay in hiding.
Without any purpose, just hiding. There's no way to live. Not for a Jedi. Or a droid.
We leave the vault, and attempting to re-enter is a no-go. Guess it's time to leave. On the way out, the Ogdo decides his taste of us wasn't enough. With open ground instead of tight corridors, we decide to take it on and pretty easily defeat it. Maybe too easily? We wonder whether we shouldn't bump ourselves up to Master after this fight, but again, this is the first real planet. It's probably still taking a little easy on us, and this guy isn't even a real boss. Our wall running lets us take an alternate way back that takes us by a workshop that triggers another Eno message, where he tells us that the Zepho had an interest in Dathomir.
Strange. For such a peaceful culture to have any sort of fascination with a place so dark.
After that, it's right back to the ship, where Cal discusses his findings with the others. Seer reveals that she was Eno's apprentice. She also shows us a holocron she had laying around. Hey, it's Obi-Wan! With some old news. Cal asks Seer why she's no longer a Jedi, but her answer is predictably vague. She just thinks rebuilding the Jedi Order is the best bet against the Empire. We finish things off for our first part by rebuilding our lightsaber with some of the parts we found lying around. Looking pretty good there. That's the end of this episode, but we've got a big question for you guys.
Dathomir or Zepho? It's your choice.
That's right. Next up, we can follow Eno's suggestion and head to Zepho, or check on Dathomir, who the Zepho were interested in. So what do you think? Let us know in the comments, or check the description for the Discord and let us know there. You can also let us know if you think we should bump up to Jedi Master or just stay on Jedi Knight. We'll close the voting in about a week after the upload, so you've got a little time to get your vote in. That'll be it for today's haul, but thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time to go to whichever planet you guys choose. Bye, everybody!